ESPN's Tim Kurkjian, who was in Philly, in Clearwater, I believe, yesterday, over at Disney today for the Braves. You like that, huh?
Definitely. Now you got me vibing.
Tim, welcome to the program. How are you?
I was in Clearwater Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday.
3 days in Clearwater.
3 straight days with the Phillies. I need to see all 30 teams in spring training. I can't spend 3 days with one team, but the job is that important, and we thought, well, maybe this is going to happen. So today I got freed and went to see the Braves.
Well, it didn't happen. No Bryce Harper yet, but is there any indication from anybody that this could be the week, or are they just going to hang out and enjoy the spring? We're in Vegas.
This has been the hardest thing that I've had to read in a really long time. I mean, we're 3.5 months into this, and after 3 days at the Phillies, I didn't feel like I knew a whole lot more than before the 3 days. I did gather, however, that the Phillies, after Machado signed, I was there. There was no desperation, no panic. Hey, we got to go get Harper now. We got to overpay to get him now because we just lost out on Machado. I didn't sense that. And I also believe that they don't believe in the narrative that's out there in so many places that if they don't get Harper or Machado, then it's been a failed offseason. The Phillies believe, and I'm with them on this, that they are significantly better than last year with all the moves that they've made. But I still think they need to do one more thing. I think it's Harper, and I just still can't get a feel for if it's going to happen with Philly and how much it's going to cost.
Tim, real quick on them not getting Machado and the Padres kind of swooping in there with a deal. Is that an example of a team? Did the Phillies misread the market, or did the Padres just kind of blink first and say, all right, we're going to push all the chips on the table? I mean, do you think that there were comparable offers to the $300 million?
I do, and I don't think the Phillies misread the market. I think they knew all along this is going to be 10 for $300, and the Phillies, I was told, said we're not paying 10 for $300. So when it got to that point, they essentially said we're out. So they knew where the market was and where it was potentially going. So, and that doesn't mean they didn't want him. They did, but they wanted him at their price, their limit. And I think that's the confusing part for me and for others is they came out early in the free agent period and said, we're going to spend stupid money or whatever it was. And yet they've shown some real discipline on how much they're willing to pay for Harper, Machado, and everyone else.
Right. I think that's where Mike and I have been trying to wrap our head around is the fact that when the offseason started, you would have thought that the Phillies would have a higher valuation of Machado than Harper because of the familiarity. The people here in Philadelphia drafted him, so he plays an infield position, third base, which they desperately could use. And now it seems like if what you're saying is that they knew that was the market and they're prepared to pay equal or more for Harper, that they prefer Harper more than the one that they originally said or gave the fuel that they preferred.
Right. Again, that was a really confusing sentence because this whole thing is really confusing. So let's say, though, that they've also, I'm just guessing, let's say they've said we're not going 10 for $300 for Bryce Harper either, and we're going to stick to our guns and stick to our limit. So maybe they think each player has the same value, but if it's 10 for $300, they're not going there. Maybe that's what's going on here. All I know is the Phillies could really use Bryce Harper. He's a really good player. They've used 9 different opening day right fielders the last 9 years. It makes sense for him to come there, but he's got to want to come there, and he's got to want to come there at least on some level of the Phillies' price. This is a two-way street every time.
Tim Kurkjian was in Philly or in Clearwater with the Phillies 3 days this week. So if they don't get Harper, where are they? What kind of team are they? Because last year they were in that race, Timmy, till about August, and then just the wheels fell off. Are they improved enough that they can go toe-to-toe in that NL East?
Note my hesitation, but yes, I think so. I think the catcher makes them way better behind the plate and defensively. Rhys Hoskins at first base is a huge upgrade defensively. Gene Segura is a hit machine and an upgrade defensively at shortstop. David Robertson is a strikeout closer, and they added other relief help. All of that, and Andrew McCutchen in the left field. Their defense is demonstrably better than it was last year, which, of course, had to happen. And I really like the Braves. I think the Nationals are better, and I think the Mets are much better. But I think the Phillies are right in that group. But if they say to themselves, we got to win, and we got to win now, then Bryce Harper would be the perfect addition.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. Let me ask you, even if they got Harper, all right, let's say that Harper's in that lineup, what do you think of that staff?
Well, I think the staff is good. You got an ace at the top, which everyone needs. I think you got 4 quality major league pitchers. I think they could use Dallas Keuchel, but not my money. It's their money, but I think he would be the perfect addition. I think they could use Craig Kimbrell for the bullpen. Again, not my money. And if you can get Dominguez and Robertson and Kimbrell, for the 8th and 9th inning, that's a pretty good group there. So I like their pitching, but they could get better. But they've also spent a lot of money so far. And I'm just not sure they're going to go out and get Kimbrell or Keuchel, but they both have to be on their radar somewhere.
Tim, should people in Philadelphia be concerned at all about, because I'm trying to figure out who the competition is now as we circle back to Harper here again. Is there any chance that Harper might accept a shorter-term deal with, say, the Giants that averages more money per year? Is that something that he might do just to be able to hit free agency again in say 5 years?
Yes, that's possible, because what we've seen in free agency the last 2 years, let's face it, anything is possible. I discount nothing. I accept everything, and yet I don't believe a word anybody says anymore because the story changes all the time. But yes, the Giants could come in with a lower offer with a lot more money per year, and that might get it done. I just don't see that really strong second team coming out of nowhere and taking Bryce Harper. But I also didn't see Max Scherzer coming a few years ago, and suddenly it's in January, and he signs for $200 million with the Nationals. That's what free agency is about, especially in this day and age.
So do you like the way Matt Klentak, Andy McPhail are playing this? Like, are they – a lot of people are saying, that, hey, you said stupid money, and now you're kind of sitting on your hands. Do you like the way they're playing this? Or do you think they should get aggressive and just get this thing done and give him what he wants?
Well, it's easy for me to say that, and yes, I would go get Bryce Harper. But if their salary structure is 10 for $300 and not a penny more, and he wants $350, and they say we're not doing that, you have to respect that, because $300 million is a tremendous amount. So I like the way they've played this, but it's not over yet. Somebody swoops in, makes a decent offer for Harper, and the Phillies aren't willing to go there when they might have the money to do it, then we're going to have to talk again about that.
What do you think, is this a good thing for baseball, bad thing for baseball? I mean, look, people perceive it to be bad, and I'm not sure it's good or bad, but we're talking about their free agent period in a time where typically people are just, wearing shorts and T-shirts and stretching. So is this actually a good thing?
I don't think it's a good thing. I don't think it's good that Machado went this deep and Harper isn't signed. There's Keuchel, Kimbrell, and a bunch of other guys. This can't be good for baseball, that some of the best players in the game are unsigned. It's also not good for baseball that I know I have spent way more time this spring talking about the guys who aren't in spring training rather than the guys who are in spring training, and that can't be healthy either. So my suggestion for baseball is let's get these guys signed. Again, a two-way street. Both sides have to work on this. Let's get some guys in camp, and let's start talking about the game on the field, because I know wherever I've been, we're not talking enough about that.
All right, well, let me play devil's advocate with you a little bit on that, Tim, because I agree with you what you say. This is not good for a lot of the players, especially the other free agents. Not good for the teams. They're trying to make their plans. But in a city like Philadelphia, huge city, huge market, it certainly has a baseball passion, especially back when they won the World Series. But at this time of the year, if Harper and Machado have already signed, be it with the Phillies or not, weeks and weeks ago, they're talking about the Eagles here mostly, and the Philadelphia 76ers, when what they're doing would be talked about. there wouldn't be a lot of baseball talk in this big city right now going on if those two guys were signed, sealed, and delivered weeks ago. But we have consistently talked about the Phillies. And granted, it's not X's and O's. It's not what lineup like you'll get in New York sports talk every single day. But we're talking about the Phillies every single day. And I can't remember a time, maybe only back in 2008, where we would do that in February and March and April. So while I feel like in the old NFL way of bad publicity can sometimes be good publicity, that baseball is getting talked about in a really big market, not just here, but San Diego, smaller market, but maybe other markets because of this.
Well, I certainly see your point, but just imagine how much you guys would be talking about the Phillies right now if today was Bryce Harper's first workout and he hit 4 balls onto the road over the right field fence.
It depends on if Nick Foles is traded today or not. No, but all it does is take something like that for like a Nick Foles thing, and then it's all of a sudden yesterday's news.
Understood. But you guys would start playing with the lineups. You would start to say, would you hit him second, third, or fourth? What would you do here? Where are you going to hit Rhys Hoskins? That's the kind of baseball talk that I think baseball fans, and you guys, of course, want to talk about. I just don't think the average fan is all that interested in this, speculation. They just want to know, where's he playing? Let's go. And that's why I don't think this is good for baseball.
Hey, Tim, real quick, while you were in Clearwater and in non-Harper news, did you get any sense if the Phillies, if they didn't get one of these two big guys, if they were looking actively on the trade market to then bring somebody else in who might be available, and any sense on what they want to do with Odubel Herrera?
Well, Herrera's got the minor injury, which is a bit of a concern. I didn't sense any trade market situation because I think so much hinges on whether they get Harper or not. So there's no point going out there and trying to talk about a trade when you don't even know who your right fielder is going to be. So that's the other reason we need to get this done. So these teams that have plans for spring training and to start the season can go ahead with their plans. If they don't get Harper, then we'll see what they do. But I didn't sense that a trade was imminent at any point.
Okay, Tim Kurkjian's with the Braves. By the way, DH in the National League. Please tell me we'll never see it.
No, I think we're going to see it.
Oh, man.
I agree with Tim.
And I'm not a big DH guy. I'd like to see the pitchers bat in both leagues. But all I really care about is let's have the same rules for each league, and I'll be happy. Even if the DH has to come to the National League, it's ridiculous that we have 2 sets of rules for 2 leagues.
All right, Tim Kurkjian with the Braves right now. Spent the first 3 days in Philly. I heard you didn't need your press pass in Philly.
No, I needed my press pass in Philly. It was today. I didn't need my press pass. That was a really funny story. So,
by the way, I got to tell the people, your timeline is full of great spring training stories. The one about who did the magic tricks, and then Kadire was Kadire that used to do the magic tricks and scared the crap out of Luis Castillo.
Yeah, and he moved across the room. He was afraid of Kadire. He was a scary man who did really scary tricks.
And that Sid Fernandez running away from the warthog is those are
right.
You're a great follow for that alone, my friend.
Well, thank you. We're allowed to have a smile at spring training. That's all I'm trying to get across here.
Very nice. By the way, when you were in Clearwater, did you how many grouper sandwiches did you put down?
No, I never went to Frenchie's, although I have been there. But I didn't go this spring because I was always going to do a live shot somewhere, which wasn't exactly what I was looking to do, but I had a great time in Clearwater. Let's put it that way, but I didn't eat much. Let's put it that way.
At Kurkjian_ESPN. Follow him for spring training info and a good laugh. Tim, appreciate it.
All right, guys. See you.